Good day and greetings from the Great White North. My name is Prickly Poo and welcome to day 178 of a year of change. What happened there? I just inhaled something. Anyway. Welcome back. Yeah, it's a good start. Good start off to a good start. Fuck. I should probably start this over. Anyway, no, I'm just going to keep on going. Welcome back. Now that I've inhaled a bug or something, I don't know what the hell that was, but I'm going to keep it in just because it's probably going to... Anyway. We're adding another person to our YouTube ranks today. I'm trying to keep in with, or sort of keep in line with people that are just sort of starting out. And this is someone that really just started out. They started last week on YouTube, pretty much doing the same thing that we are, just trying to get to a better place. Her name's Melinda, and she's... Right now, at this moment anyway, depending on when you're watching this, when I'm posting this, she's got one video up so far. Just sort of an introduction and what she's looking for, things like that. And like the majority of us, I mean, obviously a lot of the stuff that we're trying to do when we start things out like this, we want to get to a better place. We're tired of just, generally feeling shitty, and we want to get to a spot where we are healthier and we feel better about ourselves. But... there's something that it does sort of come across in a lot of other people's videos as well. And it's something that we haven't really touched on, but I think it's something that's fairly important, and that as much as we want to get to that healthy place, there's also a part of us that just want to feel better about ourselves. And not necessarily, when it comes to, medical health, but just like a psychological or emotional spot where we feel that we're acceptable. And you can call it vanity, you can call it whatever you want, but there is that portion of weight loss that sort of goes hand in hand with what we're doing, in that we want to look better. We want to physically be attractive. And it does sort of, I suppose it's probably, the same thing across the board with everybody. And it's not something that we need to say, oh, no, really, I'm just doing this for my health. It's okay to look at ourselves and go, I don't like what I see. I want to change it, and I want to be able to look in the mirror and say, you know what, this is good. I'm okay with this. Not necessarily getting to a point where you're just, narcissistic, but something that you find that you can look at and say, you know what, I'm happy with the way I look. And it's okay to feel that way. It's all right to say, I want to look better. I want, people to think I look better, because that is a part of it. It's not just simply saying, well, no, I just want to get to a spot where, I'm healthy and I can do everything else. Although that's, that is part of what we're trying to do. I think it's important to also at least acknowledge the fact that, we've talked about fat shaming before and things like that, and just self-esteem issues. But I think it's okay for us to be able to acknowledge the fact that we don't like what we see when we look in the mirror. And we want to change that. We want to be able to look in the mirror and say, just feel good about ourselves for once. The majority of us have been fat for the vast portion of our lives. And it would be nice to be able to look back and just go, you know what, I feel good. I look good, I feel good, and, go on from there. And it's something that you very rarely hear from people when they're trying to do weight loss or anything like that. But in her intro video, she does talk about how she looked back at, or she had looked back at some older pictures, and we've all done that when we've looked back and think, oh man, I'd rather, even though I'm fat then, I'd rather be that weight. And then you sort of compare it to how you are now, and usually that's when you start going, how did I let things get so bad? But she does acknowledge that, and we really all should. When we look back and go, I'd rather look like how I did 10 years ago or 20 years ago. And I think it's okay. I don't think it's a matter of just being vain or of saying, well, you're doing this for the wrong reasons. There are going to be a number of different reasons why we're doing this. But one of those is the fact that we want to be able to say that we look good. We want to feel better about ourselves. We want to be able to, like what we see, instead of just, the majority of the time when we're all looking in the mirror, we're just, ugh. And it's so bad sometimes when you go and think, what did I do to continue on, to just continually get worse and worse and worse to the point that I am now? And I do anyway. I don't think I'm the only one out there that does this. I'm assuming some other people out there are doing the same thing. But I don't think it's a matter of... I don't think it's a bad thing, actually, to say, no, I want to lose weight so I look better. I mean, that is a big part of it as well. I mean, we're trying to do something a little bit different. We aren't... Well, I'm not anyway. I'm not hitting the gym. I'm not going and saying, okay, well, I'm going to re-sculpt everything. And, I mean, that may come in time. Primarily, I'm just looking to get down to a manageable weight so I can get to a healthy weight and say, okay, this is a normal weight for me. Then I can start working on all the other little bits. All the little fiddly bits near the end. But, I mean, part of that is that, I don't know, I don't really want to call it vanity. It's I mean, that self-image, that self... what term am I looking for? I was going to say self-respect, but that doesn't really make much sense, does it? Self-esteem, I suppose. Issues could come into play. So I'm just trying not to hack and cough and die all over again. Having that self-esteem, I think is a big boost. And I mean, there are little rewards that we get while we're losing weight, like fitting into clothes that we couldn't fit in before, or, just being able to walk up a hill without sweating and being all out of breath and everything, and maybe you find you're taking the stairs a little quicker than you did before, or that you're taking the stairs instead of whatever it is. Those little rewards that sort of come as we're doing things, that do keep us going as well. But I think sort of looking ahead to where we want to be and being able to look at it and say, I want to be able to wear clothes that I feel comfortable in, and not always be sort of hiding underneath baggy clothes or picking and poking and primping all over the place, which I should be doing because, there we go, see, look at that! Ugh. Okay, no more wrinkles, we're okay. I mean, it is part of it, I think. The health thing definitely is there as well, but I think it's fine to acknowledge the fact that we don't like how we look. We want to change that. We want to look at ourselves and say, okay, you know what? I look good. We want other people to think that we look good. And it's really hard to do that. I mean, there are some of you that are out there that maybe you're fine with it. Maybe some people are saying, no, you look fine. It doesn't matter what people really say to us. Negative things we really take to heart. But positive things, it doesn't really seem to make that much of a difference to us. For those of you that are out there that, like, if you had people that have said, oh, you've lost weight, it does feel sort of nice because you accept that. But in general, you still look at yourself and just go, I don't see it. I don't see the same thing that other people do. But it would be nice to get to a spot where you can look back at, where you started 6 months ago and then look at yourself now, and whether or not you can actually see a difference. I mean, the numbers will tell you that there is a difference. And just to be able to... I'm babbling all over the place now because I'm trying to think, oh, no, I've already said this. But for us to get to a spot where I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to say, the main goal, I think, is for us to get to a place where, when someone does compliment us, then we'll be able to accept it. That's probably the best way to put it. Because right now, I mean, we still have that self-loathing that sort of goes hand in hand with being fat. And it would be nice to get to a point where we can look at ourselves and go, you know what, I used to be fat, but I'm not fat anymore. It's going to take time. I mean, I still have probably another year to go before, judging at the pace that I'm going, another year to go before I get down to where I need to be. But I think it's something that is important that we at least acknowledge, because it's not a bad thing. It's not narcissistic. It's not vanity. It's not, a way of saying, well, you're just doing this for the wrong reasons. There are going to be hundreds of people that are doing this and hundreds of different reasons for it. And, I mean, obviously there are thousands of us out there. or millions. If you want to get technical, across the world there are millions of people that are doing this. And so they all have their different reasons for doing it. For some, it's going to be primarily for health. For some, it's going to be because, they want to look better. For some, it's going to be a matter of, if I don't do this, then I'm going to end up dying. So there are a bunch of different reasons for it, but I think it's important to acknowledge all of them and not to feel guilty about it either. It's okay to say, I want to look better. I want other people to think that I look better. And, I mean, the health is going to come in time along with it. Same thing, that the weight loss and the better clothes and everything else. Or better clothes. Yeah, better clothes. We'll fucking say that. The smaller clothes that all that's going to come in time. So whatever the reason is that you're doing this and whatever your motivation is for doing this, then at least acknowledge it. And it's okay to have a little bit of vanity and say, I want to look better. I want to feel better about myself, whether it's a self-esteem issue or just being able to look in the mirror and not go ugh, and turn away. But anyway, I'm sort of getting off track here because this is originally supposed to be focusing on them. She has just started her vlog. She started it last week, or whenever you're watching this on the 9th is when she started it. And so, especially where people are just sort of starting out, it is tough to get into that groove because we all get that little burst of motivation where we think, okay, this is what I want to do. I really want to get involved with this. I really want to start, this is going to be the one time that I'm going to lose weight and keep going. And unless you have that support system behind you, it's really tough to keep going. And we all know this because we've all been there. We've all done it. We've all been all gung-ho. And then you say, great, I'm going to go to the gym every single day. And then you go one day and you go, this is too hard. There's too many people staring at me. And then you go home and you never go back, which is where we end up. So I'm going to put a link, once again, I'll put her into the my fellow YouTubers in there. It'll be under M, so you'll be able to find her. Everything's still in alphabetical order there. And go up, take a look, say hello, and show her a little bit of support. It's always nice to know that what you're doing is not just being done in vain. That there are other people out there that are sharing the same outlook and they're sharing the same goals, and knowing that there are places you can go to get that support and that you can provide help to other people. And again, if it's a matter of, one person being able to say that they haven't been able to find anything through all the different people, and maybe this is the one that they're going to say, you know what, I want to follow along with this, and this is what's going to get me to that point where I'm going to lose weight and finally, turn things around and get to a healthier spot. So this has really been all over the place. Plus, I almost died at the beginning. Wouldn't that have been interesting? Although I don't know how this would have been posted if I had died. I have friends. Maybe they would just post it 2 or 3 days later and say, there you go, he choked to death on his own spit or whatever it was. It wasn't spit. I think it was just air, which is really odd. If you could choke to death on air, that's pretty sad. Anyway, I'm going to leave this video here, so go up, take a look, send her a little bit of support, let her know that we are out there. I'm going to send her a message as well, just to sort of say, hello, we are here, come up, say hello, and, depending on what she's doing, if she's going to join in with my fitness pal or whatever she decides to do to sort of start in on what she's doing, then at the very least we'll be able to send her a little bit of support and say that, at least she's not doing this by herself. So, anyway, for right now, though, thank you very much for watching the video. If you liked it, please poke the like button for me. In the meantime, keep yourself warm and fuzzy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.